Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs on Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs. Brandon Mason. How you doing, man?
Nice to meet you.
Torchlight Software. What do you do?
So I've operated this for around 6 years. I've worked with a lot of startup companies actually to help them put products together, and I typically work with a business owner to sort of understand, what's the direction, what is it that we're trying to build here, and actually make that a reality.
Is it hard for the business owner sometimes to describe exactly what is that they want? Because this is what I think I want, and what I am communicating to you might be something a little bit different, where you are developing something or a product for that business owner, where at the end of the road is like, that's not exactly what I had in mind. Is that
Right.
is that a problem? Is that?
Yeah, that's been one of the big insights and realizations in the software industry, is that the idea that you're going to get it all right from the beginning is sort of nonsensical. Like it doesn't work that way.
Don't have that expectations. If
Yeah.
I'm going to go with your firm, I have to measure my expectations to maybe 1, twice, 3 times perhaps, go back and revisit that idea?
Well, so what we've recognized is that an iterative approach makes a lot more sense, that people respond to having something in their hands, to playing around with it,
Right.
and you need that feedback process of create something and then look at it, see if it aligns with what you wanted, and then create something else. So the companies that have been successful, and I think the projects that have been successful, break things down much more. And the other thing that I see is just empathy is huge. Understanding who's going to be using this thing, what they're trying to do, how you can best serve them. These are really important aspects, and they're often overlooked. Oftentimes people haven't done enough investigation and understanding of the people that they're trying to help.
And so you come up with this product that works maybe 80% okay, and so you end up settling for this system that...
Well, it's functional. It works.
Yeah, it works. Okay.
It works great, but it doesn't do the thing that people need, and that's oftentimes the problem.
When you started, a little bit of your background as an entrepreneur, because you could be, working for a major software company and being but what is it that gets you going and oh, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm going to add myself about 7,000 different other problems that I wouldn't have had I been working for a corporation? I mean, what is it that gets into your head to say, all right, I want to be an entrepreneur?
Years ago, I started this sort of personal investigation into meaning and what was meaningful to me, and looking at the world and where the world is going. And what's actually important? What's the big picture, right? Because me personally, like, I feel like I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty satisfied with life. But what else? What's next? And I think it was that sort of an investigation. The thing that has really become really prominent for me. There's this statistic that 80% of people are not. They don't feel like their work aligns with a meaning or purpose in their life. And there's a lot of psychological research that backs this up, and I just thought that's a tragedy. That's just a tragedy. How much value are we leaving on the table across all of society?
Right.
Through that, right? That's just a red flag to me. So my first thing was I wanted for myself, I wanted work that aligned more to a purpose that I felt personally. And then my second goal now is I would really like to work on projects that start to have an impact on that picture for other people,
Sure.
right? So they can find work that's more meaningful. Yeah. And I think it's a lot of the problems that we have in society today are actually because we're leaving people's intelligence on the table. right?
What do you mean by that?
If you take a big organization that is top-down, hierarchical, and somebody's telling this person what to do, they're telling these other people what to do, and so on, you're not able to fully take advantage of people's intelligence, of their recognition of what the problems are. And it's a model, right? It's a way of organizing people.
Sure.
But I think we need to look further than that. It's worked for us, it's got us to where we are, but we need to look further. We need to look at other ways that we could organize that are perhaps more democratic and allow the ideas, the empathy, the recognition of what's important to be collected from everyone and not just a few people.
Why do you think that is? Is it because the way that the system is designed, or is it apathy that is coming from the top? I mean, you went through this introspection, so you sit not only self-analyzed, but also you looked at different corporations, different organizations, and you came up with this conclusion. Why do you think that is?
So as a programmer, I look at things as systems, and
exactly.
And I'm really fascinated by what's called systemic thinking, right? When you think about a system as this dynamic thing it's interacting with its environment, it's interacting with other systems. You can look at businesses in this way. You can look at governments in this way.
Sure.
Technical systems, social systems, right? You can explore those dynamics, and so I think what we have now is a consequence of the dynamics of the system. One of the things that I think that people oftentimes miss, though, is that everything around us was created by human beings, right? A lot of times people say, well, that's just the way it is, I can't change it. But there's a history behind all of this.
Sure.
All of the buildings, all of the roads, all of the social institutions that are around us. Somebody had a plan, somebody had a vision at one point, and these things were built. It's up to our generation now to decide what the future looks like. It's up to the people who are alive today to decide what's next. And that's the question I want to pose to people is what does that mean to you, and what is your part in that? I think we need to be taking a more active role and to consider this thing as something that we do have a say in, our future.
And indeed, you found, as you said at the beginning of the interview, that you are fairly happy. You're a happy guy. You're a programmer, and I just got into your programmer's mind, man, and it's deep. I'm going to look back at this interview. I'm going to go, okay, so that's what he meant. But it's interesting to see that what you're describing is, and to put a little bit of the entrepreneurship angle, is that each one of us defines success very differently.
Yeah.
And for you, success is probably where you are right now. You're happy the way you are, perhaps in a financial environment. You're happy. For me, I might not be. I still want something else. I still have mountains to climb. I still have whatever it is. But some other people just maybe staying at home is being happy. So the way that we define success, I think it's very, very different. And you've given us an incredible perspective, an overview of how that mentality works.
Yeah, the way I like to look at life is as an exploration.
Yeah.
That we're all here, we're exploring this world. We don't know why we're here necessarily. We have our theories, but we're here, and so if you can look at things as an exploration, as a journey, as a discovery process, we don't have to be against each other. We don't have to be in competition. And you can sort of look outwards. Thank you.
Kids, if you ever want to be a programmer, be like this guy. This
Thank
is
you.
cool. That's very, very, very forward thinking. That is really brilliant. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
With that, we're out.